Pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Mrs. Flame?
Oh, you gotta read the act first.
Pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act, adequate notice of this meeting was forwarded to the official township newspapers, posted on the bulletin board and township website on January 2nd, 2020. This meeting is being videotaped and will be on Channel 9. Mrs. Flame?
Here.
Mr. Deacon?
Here.
Mr. Doyle?
Here.
Mrs. Pesh Wilson?
Here.
Mayor Bruno?
Here. Can I get a motion to go into first public portion for resolutions and ordinances below?
I'll make a motion to go into first public portion.
I second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the
Good evening,
committee.
Bill.
I have a question on 14820. You're amending the budget right after you approve it?
If I could, Mayor?
Yes, sir.
The process is, we introduced the budget last month. It gets reviewed by the state. The state has some changes that they had suggested. So we're going to have the public hearing on the budget, and then they would amend it, and then they will adopt it at the next meeting. So it hasn't been adopted yet.
So when it's adopted, it's not going to be adopted tonight?
It's not going to be adopted until next week.
We're having a special meeting Monday night, 5 o'clock, to adopt it.
Tonight's meeting is the hearing on the introduced budget. That's why the meeting has to be tonight. So it's the public hearing on the introduced version of the budget, and then we'll go to amend the budget. And the hearing on the amendment will be next Monday. And then after the hearing on the amendment, then they will vote on the entire budget.
So this is caused by the state dragging its feet,
No,
in
not
layman's
dragging
terms?
the feet.
Or the state getting stuff out late?
There was a couple issues. We had some revenue that we wanted to use that was, for whatever reason, was still in the trust fund that we thought we would anticipate. The state decided that we couldn't use it. It's still there. Money is still available for us going forward. But because of that, we had to change some of our revenue situations. And then there was a couple other things they wanted us to change.
So it,
Who is he?
I'm sorry. I'm the township auditor. I'm Kevin Frenier.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right, I don't know what his
That's
first
all
name
right.
is.
Now you know.
I was wondering too, to be honest. Also, for the record, Bill Morris,
Oh,
so
you probably
Gavin,
got her to ask
I
for it.
apologize.
You got Renee to ask for you.
No, totally unscripted, you know
Yeah,
me. Will this, after tonight, will the revisions be put up on the website?
The revisions are on the website. Sarah has them.
They're already up?
I believe so.
Oh, you gave them to her today?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And there's a copy in the folder too, Bill.
Okay, thank you very much.
I get a motion to close first public portion for resolutions and ordinances.
Make a motion to close first public portion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
There you go.
A little quicker, Heather. Can I get a motion for resolution R 14620, authorizing the budget to be read by title?
Make a motion to approve R 14620.
I second.
Mr. Deacon?
Yes.
Mrs. Pesh Wilson?
Yes.
Mr. Doyle?
Yes.
Mrs. Flame?
Yes.
Mayor Bruno?
Yes. Can I get a motion for R 14720, approving the renewal of liquor licenses for 2020 to 21?
Make a motion to approve R 14720.
I second.
Mr. Deacon?
Yes.
Mrs. Pesh Wilson?
Yes.
Mr. Doyle?
Yes.
Mrs. Flame?
Yes.
Mayor Bruno?
Yes.
I have a question about that. If this is a special meeting on the budget, shouldn't it be strictly on the budget?
We had other action that was going to be taken. It was only to not cause our two businesses, one being the VFW, who just got their check in. So I added it on there, and we were having other action, so
Okay.
I didn't want to cause them to shut down until our next meeting of the 13th.
All right.
Who'd I end with?
I'm not sure.
I thought we were all done.
We were all done.
Okay,
I'm sorry to throw you off there.
sorry.
Motion to approve R 14820, amendment to the 2020-21 Franklin Township budget.
Mayor. We're first going to do the public hearing on what was introduced.
Okay, I missed that. I apologize.
That was on the introduced budget. So we're
We
having
can
a
open
public
up,
hearing.
need a motion to open up the public hearing for the budget?
Make a motion to open up the public hearing for the budget?
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Yeah. Renee Pistoia, Leopardi, 2787 East Grant Avenue. I did not see anything in the budget for the senior program. What line item is it on? And where's the revenue that we received when they were paying their $1.25? I don't see it anywhere in this budget.
The revenue's not taken as a revenue in the budget, it's taken as miscellaneous revenue not anticipated. So that will be just revenue that will come in and be used in calculating surplus next year. We don't recognize it as a revenue.
Page 15C, it's under other expenses under health and welfare and human services.
You say
$70,000 is budgeted.
15C?
C.
15C.
Well, and it's under health and welfare?
Well, that's where we've always put because health and welfare is, because we're providing a service to people that are in need. Same thing with the Meals on Wheels, gets paid out of that account also. It has been for years.
Well, it hasn't been for years because we
No.
just started doing.
I said the Meals on Wheels gets paid out of there for years.
Because we just started the program for the seniors. And you don't count their money as revenue?
We don't count it in the year that we receive it
Well, we-
as a revenue. It comes in as a revenue, but we don't tag it in the budget because it's not really something that we know how much we're gonna receive. We
But-
get it, it's just,
What did we get last year? This has been going on for over a year.
it's been recognized as Myrna last year also.
Wait, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
It's been recognized as, they call it Myrna, miscellaneous revenue not anticipated. You have certain revenues that you anticipate in the budget, you'll see that in that portion. But if you get money that's not a part of that, it's classified as Myrna, and it goes towards the calculation of, it goes basically to surplus in the following year.
Okay, so
So
isn't
if we
that,
sell property,
The reason we do that is it's very difficult to anticipate. We don't like to anticipate budgets that we can't get a pretty good reading on because we don't want to over budget or under budget. So the money just simply flows. It goes into the bank account and recognizes revenue, and we use it for the following year as part of fund balance.
but isn't that
It goes into your
misleading?
savings. It
to
goes into
the?
your savings.
But it's misleading to your taxpayers because we did budget 60,000 for the senior. We started this program up. I have been on it asking nonstop, how much money have we put out? How much money have we received? And I cannot get a number, and I
You get the
still
money-
can't get a
I
number.
believe you got the money that we put out. We told you what we budgeted for.
60,000, and this year
Correct.
we're doing 70. But
well, no, 70, 60 of it's the food. The rest of it is for other expenses down for that, for that.
Meals on
other
Wheels,
things in that.
is that part of that Meals on Wheels salary?
No,
That's one above it.
that's
salaries and
above
wages.
it.
We can certainly get you the number that's collected.
Of that number, yeah,
I
we
don't-
can quantify
I
that.
don't have it with me tonight because it just simply goes into miscellaneous. It's not, I don't think it's gonna, certainly not go to the 70,000.
correct.
No.
Was never meant to cover the 70,000.
Costs money to feed people.
We had a free program through the county.
They hated it. The
People
people
didn't like
hated it.
They didn't like it.
They don't like it
Anybody
right
that
now
doesn't like
either.
that program, when it starts back up, I would like them to come down and sit and eat with me with those people, and you'd never see a happier
You're saying
group
they
of
don't like
people.
it now?
Well,
That's what
Right
you're
now, they've been getting bag lunches.
Well,
I
coronavirus,
haven't
come
seen
on, you
anybody-
can't put old people in
No
a
one has
room.
called
Hold
and
on.
complained to me about it.
Well,
Maybe they're calling you to complain to you. They're not.
no,
They're
listen.
obviously not calling the right people to complain about it.
Well, they are, because you guys just don't want to do anything. You're talking about the
Just don't
coronavirus.
wanna
Stop,
do
stop,
anything.
2 times. You're talking about the coronavirus. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 employees here without a mask on, and you're gonna say about a coronavirus.
We're talking about 50
But-
elderly
6 feet
people,
apart.
6
But,
feet apart.
and that's
so-
the same thing that can happen
50
down there.
elderly people in a room. Of
That-
course we didn't
what's,
have
what's
it.
the capacity of that room,
What room?
that can hold down there in that room?
No idea.
Doesn't matter.
250? Yes, it does.
I don't think it's that
I
bad.
don't
Go
know,
there
though.
for camaraderie. Nobody's gonna sit the distance from Barbara
They
to
can't
me
hear
to
that
have
far.
lunch. And I'm sorry.
That's not true, because they go to restaurants that are open that they sit.
Now, right now.
No, that's been going on. We're here for the
All
fun.
right.
You guys are fighting over something that you know you're wrong on, because it's
All right.
misleading.
Okay,
It's
fine.
very misleading to the public on how you're doing stuff.
Thank
Um,
you.
Would you like to know the amount? They can get you the amount we collected. If that was your question.
I asked how much we got and what
Well, we
my
can get
revenue.
you that number.
But that's what he has, said. But him, who, I didn't know who he was. Okay,
Kevin.
so a couple more here.
Dave, you gotta take
let's
the
see.
basketball to
So-
back order.
Yeah, I do.
The law department,
Law Department. What page
Thir-
is that on?
page, sheet 13. We
is
don't
it?
even have a law department.
What is it?
Sheet 13.
2?
Sheet 13. You got law department, you have salary, and that was for 2019, but 2018, you don't have a salary because we don't have a law department, but yet we have $185,000 for other expenses. What is that?
Sheet
That is to pay the solicitor, pay labor attorney, pay,
COA?
the.
COA's got to be insurance.
No,
What do you mean
special
COA has to be
litigation.
Co is
No,
not
no,
insurance.
COA. The COA law firm, Clark Caton, Armano is the solicitor, our labor attorney, our bond counsel, all the outside professionals are paid
Well-
out of law OE. No.
So what happened that in 2019, we only had 77,000, and now we're going to 185?
Is that after transfers?
No, we didn't have, we transferred up to 182,000 last year. So we started out, we budgeted 77, and we ended up using 104, 108.
So it was just a mixed calculation on a budget?
We transferred it from other line items. We used other line items for that.
So in essence, last year we paid 180 to the outside professionals in addition to law salary. This year we also have the OE to pay
It's on the
outside
back.
law professionals.
So not only are we paying our current ones, and this is why nothing, they're just talking amongst themselves instead of listening, but,
I'm
and
looking
that's
for the
just,
page you're on, Renee.
that's,
We're-
sheet
we're
13.
We're actually, if I can,
I
we're
gotta
actually
find
budgeting
sheet.
less this year for a while than we did that.
No, this says 185, and I don't have that, my paper says 77 from
Yeah, but
2000,
if you look next to that, it says total as modified after transfers,
182.
182.
182 plus the 48 is what so we spent 48 plus 178 on legal fees last
Yeah,
year.
well, that was again a job that shouldn't have ever been, what's that, 36 what? 236. Oh. We also have 80,000 in the community development. Director salary, whatever that is. What kind of money have we made in revenue having this to warrant this position? Have we got any grants? Have we got anything to help with that?
I don't know.
Thank you for the answer. So I also see in zoning, we have a salary for 21,000. Is that for Matt? I'm sorry, sheet 15. Is that for Matt DeCesare?
No, Matt DeCesare's not taking a salary.
Doing it for free.
He's doing it for free.
Well then, don't get a chip.
I'm not.
My question is,
I
because
wanted
there's
you to be able to hear me.
there's
You
a,
said earlier, we're up here talking back and forth, not paying
you
attention.
are, you're not paying
We were
attention.
looking for your page.
It says salary and wages. So who is that for? Is there a part-time guy do we have, or a part-time somebody for zoning? Because I thought Matt was doing the zoning.
I would, the only
We
person,
paid- We paid some of Bill Trampe's salary out of that while he was here. Portion of Lynn's salary comes out of that appropriation also.
they're the only two people to get paid from zoning.
So are we gonna hire a full-time zoning officer, or are we gonna hire any kind of, somebody else for zoning?
That's,
I get Matt's doing it for free, but Matt's not gonna be able to continue. Or maybe he can.
Matt's
Who knows?
committed to do it for the rest of the year.
For the rest of this year.
Yep.
So what about next year?
Different budget.
Okay, so hence to, how are we not having a tax increase when all of these salaries, because if you keep going through, have increased? You can't run a budget like that.
Renee, what'd you just say? We're not having a tax increase?
Yeah, that's what you're gonna, listen,
That's not correct.
so,
That's why we're amending it tonight.
so there is gonna be a tax increase.
Yep, now you're gonna start complaining about
you
that.
just
Not at all.
Okay.
You answered your own question on why. You just did.
I'm not complaining at all.
No,
I'm sitting here
Howard.
saying to myself, I'm gonna get
No.
clobbered in 2 years from now because we're not doing these little increases now. I mean, if you keep doing, listen, you can't keep raising salaries and giving people money.
Everything's going up. Insurance goes
Everything.
up, salary,
So what
everybody's
is the
getting 2%.
increase now? What's the
2 pennies. What's that?
In the amendment that they're gonna vote on after this is a 2-cent tax increase.
2 cents. Okay. The police department improvements, what is that for? Because this building's pretty, I'm sorry,
What page are you on right now? You gotta give us page numbers.
I'm sorry. Sheet 40C.
40C is the capital budget, and that is just simply a plan of things we may or may not do. That doesn't give us any authority to spend any money. It's just looking forward to the things that we may want to do.
She's got more shit.
Spend that, we would have to pass a separate.
We don't even have 40C?
Yeah, 4.
We ran out of
That's not
paper.
even in yours.
You must, what, you ran out of
It's
paper?
not ours.
That's the
Oh,
capital.
sorry.
I have it.
It's a wish list
It's not
fund.
All them Oprah requests, they
It's not
eat up
really-
all the paper.
It's not really part of the budget.
You wouldn't have them if you did the right thing.
It's just a capital plan that says these, in the next 6 years, these are things we're thinking about doing. We put it in there. If they decide that's what they want to do, they need to have an ordinance. They would have an introduction to the ordinance. They'd have a public hearing on the ordinance. Then they could spend money on capital projects. This doesn't give them any authority. This is simply, here's some things we're looking at that we might want to do in the future.
So we're putting this money aside for the future?
No, it's just simply, the state wants you to look forward at 5 years. This was a 6-year program. They want you to look forward 6 years to the things you may need to keep the community informed that these are things that we're thinking about. There's no authorization to spend, there's nothing other than it's in here as some kind of a plan. So we use very general numbers, we use very general ideas, and if there's something that they want to spend, they need to do an ordinance and send it to public hearing.
Okay, sheet 15A.
I'm already on that one.
Huh?
I said, I'm already on that one. See, I'm ready.
You know I was coming to that one next. So we got, again, for the police department, we have other expenses for $138,000, which is exactly what we had in 2019. So, and obviously you can see the transfers over and the pay expenses. What is that actually going to be for then? We already have, how many new cars refitted for dogs?
No, that's for like ticket books, ammo, anything that they need outside of payroll to run their department.
The top's just salary and wages, right? You see that?
Oh, yeah. You see that?
Oh, I see it.
I do. And I see that we're giving a $5,000 raise for the prosecutor?
Here it is.
Same page.
I don't think, that salary stayed the same, I believe.
Additional 5,000.
It was the same as last year.
Last year was
the same as
25.
last year?
Yeah, it's
No, it
supposed to
was
be
30
25.
last year, wasn't it?
Got the same thing.
Where it transferred?
No, 25 was budgeted, 24 was spent. I'm not, is he on salary or is he paid?
Monthly,
It's
right?
monthly salary.
So is that an
She's
extra
on
5,000
municipal
that can go somewhere else?
prosecutor.
I don't,
What's that?
I just take the numbers and put them in, I'm not sure exactly what's in there.
So, okay,
Just
That didn't
because it's
change that.
budgeted doesn't mean it gets spent. That's how you build up a reserve. So even though we budget 35,000, there's a good possibility, just like you saw on the other
30.
example, where we under budgeted and needed to get money to make up the difference in that account, it had to come from other accounts where we didn't spend the money. That would be an example.
Yeah, this is a very tight budget. We're gonna need, we're gonna make some transfers.
so, again, you work for the,
I work for my own firm.
so you're the auditor firm.
I'm an outside. outside audit.
So who's the CFO? Or we don't have one of them either?
She's right
I'm
behind you.
CFO.
Okay. Again, don't know who you are. So this, the CFO and the administrator prepare this?
They prepare the line items, and they give it to me, and then I work with the state to get the budget in the proper form and to get it approved to where we need to be.
Okay, so,
The state reviews it, and I'm usually contact where I'll go through things, different items for them, which is pretty well what most municipalities do.
okay. The same thing with the public defender. That has increased, and it's not a whole lot, but it has increased. $3,200, so we're talking almost 10 grand just between them two positions.
I'm not sure what's on.
And then you got a community development, which is another $80,000. So there's a lot of loose money, I'll call it. I'm sorry, 15E.
Is that the,
Was that, the public defender is also getting an
and
increase.
what page is he on?
15E. I don't even know who the public defender is either.
It's Mr. Hubert. And he's making the same as he did last year.
Okay, so last year he made 65.
This year, right now, he's making 65.
No,
Right?
no way.
That was 6,500.
7.9, right?
Oh, yeah, he don't,
Makes 10,000.
hourly.
Who was on the budget committee?
Myself
Me?
and Heather.
Sorry. I forgot I was holding this phone for a second.
It's fine.
Oh, there it is.
Okay. Last question, because I don't know how you run this. If you ran your household this way, yeah, I'd be buying your house on a tax sale.
You couldn't afford my house.
Yeah, I could afford you and everyone there.
Yeah,
Anyway,
You have a question?
yeah, listen, if you guys are gonna get smart, I'm gonna smart back.
Well,
Because
you- I
again,
mean-
Just ask if you have another question.
I do, because, so when was the last time that we took out a bond, and what was that one for?
We haven't done one, I've been here 4 years, I believe, we haven't done one since then. We haven't done one in the last couple of years.
Okay,
I mean, I can send you that information tomorrow, I don't have it here.
do I have to do an over request, Barb, or do I just have them send it to you and you send it to me?
I mean,
Do an open request.
you can do it. It's either or.
I also, I'd prefer just to send it to the clerk's office and she can forward it to you.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah, and I'll send you, I'll see if I can find the senior citizens collection, is that what that would be called?
Yeah, the lunch program.
Lunch
yes.
revenue.
See if I can find, I'll find that.
Department of
and
Rec.
The analysis of all the.
Okay, and I, you know what, I didn't even think about this. Speaking of the seniors, is the transportation also in that 70,000?
Well, the heat's on.
We're not doing transportation right now for the.
No, not right now, but we will be doing, I mean, are they still gonna have buses to take them to and from the community center?
Not this year.
Not for the end of this year, no.
We don't really know with the corona stuff, you know, you need a crystal ball to know what next year is gonna bring.
And you know, I think we did do a bond in 2018.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, we did. I'll get you the information on what that was for, how much was.
So put the air conditioner on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
75 degrees.
Yeah.
75, oh.
All right, so their senior lunches are out for the current this year, for the rest of this year.
Transportation, yes.
Trips,
Transportation.
transportation, yes.
Senior cit trips and transportation to the community center are out.
Are they gonna still get delivered some kind of lunches?
All the
Coming up and
people,
getting 'em.
all the people who can't get up to get them have been put on Meals on Wheels. They've transitioned into Meals on Wheels, so they are getting meals every day.
Okay,
And all
so-
the people that can drive there are getting them at the community center.
Okay, and that's, then, again, that's another one of them lies that they say that you guys were gonna get rid of that, and I'm like, wait a minute.
Get rid of that.
The lunches for seniors, that you're, well, transportation basically, and that's what they need the most.
No.
And I know you guys are so worried about the corona, obviously I'm wearing my mask, but it should actually be up to the individual, whether they wanna put themselves, you have seniors that can't get to and from places. How are they getting their food? I mean, they depended on
We're
you guys
bringing
to
it
take
to
them different places.
They're
They're
getting
bringing
the
it to
food.
them.
The community and all the other seniors are working together to make sure all their friends get.
Well, I've seen you taking meals to people, correct? No, who was there? Somebody came and got a few the first couple days.
Some friends, they all
Yeah.
have friends and stuff.
They still need food for their homes.
If there's anybody that isn't getting food, let us know, because you've been beating us up for giving people food, now you're saying we're not feeding people, so I'm getting confused.
I'm not beating you up for giving people food.
We have a program, they can pick it up or we drop it off. So you can be mad we're spending money on feeding them, but you can't be mad that they're getting fed, and then they're not getting fed. I'm just getting confused what we're, like,
Okay, so my thing is, the seniors are your most important. They're your most viable. They're the ones that are right now affected the most, because all of us are out, right?
Agreed.
right.
So you have seniors, and I'm the one that keeps fighting with these, about this with seniors, about, that can't afford to pay taxes and stuff, and yet we have these no-show jobs thrown in here. But yet we can't, we're not gonna be able to take the seniors' food, or they can't go to a bus. Why can't we just put, we got kids on the buses now, right? So why can't we put just a couple seniors on the buses to go out? Because it's not in the budget for the transportation.
I wouldn't feel comfortable putting any seniors on any buses personally, because I'm not a doctor, but
They're
they're the
the
highest
most
risk and it doesn't make
vulnerable
any
population.
Well, you
sense.
know what? They're not really the highest risk. You know, high blood pressure is one of the top risks.
There was only 3 seniors getting picked up, so we made arrangements to make sure that they got meals delivered to them.
With the big Delsey bus, the big 50-passenger bus was picking
That's the
up
way it should be.
pretty
Whether it's 1 or if it's 3 or if it's 100, you still gotta do it.
good. Thank you. Anyone else? Can I get a motion to close the public hearing on the budget?
Make a motion, oh, sorry.
Go ahead, you're fine.
Make a motion to close public hearing?
I second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Can I get a motion to approve Resolution R 14820, amendment to the 2020 Franklin Township budget? Public hearing on amendment will be October 5th, 2020 at 5 PM.
Make a motion to approve R 14820?
I second that.
Thanks, Dave.
Mr. Deegan?
Yes.
Mr. Doyle?
Yes.
Mrs. Pesh Wilson?
Yes.
Mrs. Flame?
Yes.
Mayor Bruno?
Yes. Can I get a motion to open the second public portion for any comments or questions?
Make a motion for public portion, for second public portion?
I second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Mr. Mayor, Bill Morris again.
Hey, Bill.
Question, just because I don't understand.
Go ahead.
You had the public hearing on the budget, but you did not vote on the budget.
On the introduced budget.
You didn't vote on it, though.
Right, we're not allowed to, we have to amend it.
Okay.
Because they introduced it and they advertised the public hearing, they had to have the public hearing on the introduced budget.
So,
Now they're changing the budget, things that the state requested, some things that we had after we looked at the budget again. So they're amending it, and now next week they'll have had the hearing on the introduced budget, next week they'll have the hearing on the amendment only, and then they'll vote on the full budget.
okay, thank you very much.
So if I could ask a question on that, are we just changing the revenue and not the expenditures on the budget? So the things that,
We didn't add any expenditures, we moved some things around, just it's in the budget form itself, and then we changed the revenues. We had a couple we had a couple of trust funds that we're gonna bring over.
I'm familiar with that.
Yeah, so we're gonna bring that over next year, and then we just changed we changed the revenue, we increased the rate about 2 cents, which I think was a wise idea. So no, we're not spending any additional money.
Okay, so the individual accounts might move, but the total expenditures will not go over what's in the budget we have.
Yeah, you can.
But we're
I know.
changing the, the revenue source from tax dollars from reserve dollars.
Understood. Okay, thank you very much.
Correct.
Hi, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I'm glad everyone's well and able to attend. I wanted to thank the township and especially Mr. Doyle for getting the Public Works to put barricades at Piney Hollow. I went yesterday and I was really happy to see that. I'm also glad to hear that we have Mr. DeCesare doing the zoning. I think in the crazy world that we live in, it's good that we have an officer actually going out there rather than someone who doesn't necessarily have any idea how to deal with somebody that might become very belligerent. So I think that's great, and I did have an opportunity to talk to the engineer today, and my understanding is that we're going to be setting up a meeting to move forward with amending the plans for Piney Hollow. He talked about possibly Monday, so that we can go ahead and have him take care of it after we sit down and decide what we're going to do. So I'm glad to hear that progress is being made, and thank you for that. And I also wanted to let everyone know that we had our meeting last night for the Environmental Commission, and we've decided that for now and the next year, we're going to go with virtual meetings rather than in-person meetings. Not sure how we handle that other than we put it on the website, or if we need to do any other kind of notification. If Barb could let me know what's needed to just go from any in-person to totally virtual.
You can use Zoom for free for up to 50 people, so that's,
It seemed when I tried to go on Zoom and the other vendors, we used Skype because there was no limit on the time of the meeting. A lot of them only had like a 45-minute window, or they only had a certain number of people, so we ended up using Skype because it was free. You know, if the town had an account, which I discussed with you,
yeah,
that
we don't.
everyone could
Barbara, I
use.
can give you my account for Zoom.
Oh, that'd be great.
I'll send it to you, okay, so you can use that.
Okay, that would be wonderful.
That's gotta be open to the public, correct? Like, that has to be posted like that.
Yeah, our meeting was posted on the website
I'll
and
send it to you.
Yeah, no, I'm just.
So every time you
we're
have a
gonna go all
meeting, you'll
virtual.
just put
put the
that.
links. But
Yeah,
if Dave
okay.
gives me more information and provides us with a better venue, that would be great. Zoom might actually be better than Skype.
That's who I have, an account with Zoom.
Okay.
Unlimited amount of people, and you can be on there for days.
Oh, that's really fabulous.
Yeah.
Does it have
Easy
the,
for Tim.
does it also record the meetings if you press
No,
the?
no, no, no.
Okay, because we
It
were
can-
able
it
to
does,
record.
it can.
Oh, it
You
can?
can?
It can.
Yeah, because that's really wonderful because
But I
we.
don't want that to come to me.
Oh, it's only, the one I did last night was only saved for 30 days. And basically, it's so that we can go back to put together the minutes,
Then
or if
get
we
rid of it.
forgot to write something down. But that's wonderful, and
I'll send you the information.
thank you.
Barricades
And
back.
thank you for, moving
Hopefully
ahead.
next week we can make some headway on your project.
Yeah, because everything with a project like this is 2 steps forward and 1 step back. And it's
especially
gonna
this
be-
year.
Yeah, and it's going to keep continuing until we move, past the construction phase. And then, with all likelihood, we're going to need to get some volunteers to do some things, sort of like the benches at Mallard Lake Park. I don't know if you're
Right.
familiar with those. Oh, speaking of Mallard Lake Park, I don't want to take too much of your time, but the dog bags were empty at the trailhead. So just so you guys know.
Public Works has it.
Okay, they need to just stop by there as soon as they get a chance if they haven't done that in the last few days. And there are trees. The last storm we had with the heavy winds, there are trees that are overhanging the trail that are not the safest thing. 2 at the far exit when you come out where there's a big mound of dirt. Someone put a Dayglow t-shirt near there, I guess in an attempt to warn people that there's a hazard. And there's another tree down if you go on the trail closer to the dock. That has a cross trail where there's a tree also that's overhanging.
We'll just have Public Works check the trail. make
Yeah,
sure
I don't
there's
know
no
if they
safety.
have the ability to deal with that, or we would have to get a tree person in. But we might consider putting caution tape up until we have the ability to get someone in there, just to cover us. I think the police
I know
probably
there's
have that.
A couple of them down in Forest Grove that local tree guy came and took down.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah,
So-
so I think it's only about 3 trees, but good luck. There's also a lot of glass on the trail, and I actually started picking it up myself with the doggy bags I had because I had my dog with me. I don't know how we stop people from smashing glass onto the trail, and
Yeah.
it's a great
You
place
can't fix
to go.
stupid, right?
Exactly. You want to go with your dog, but, if your dog cuts his pad, it takes at least 5 weeks to heal, and that's treating it properly. So it's not something people want to have to deal with. So glass is an issue. I purchased a small hand rake because I figured that might be easier, and every time I go, I'll try to rake up some of the glass and bag it, but that's sort of like a needle in a haystack.
It's probably something when you guys do your cleanup days, that's a, you know,
Yeah, this stuff's really hard to pick up.
that's something
Usually,
to add to the list of volunteer type jobs.
yeah, it
Get
would
this-
be good. And maybe, if the hand rake works out, maybe part of our budget will get more of those hand rakes for people to try to rake the glass up so that they can collect it better. But, thank you. I don't want to
Thank you.
take all your time.
Thank you.
Take care.
No problem, we'll have them look into that.
Can I get a motion to close the second public portion?
Make a motion to close second public portion?
Dave,
I second that.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Mr. Mayor,
Oh,
before we adjourn,
Oh, Heather, hold on, please.
we'd like to,
Yes.
once they just announced that we're having a shredding event
Oh, yeah.
here at the town hall. We got enough volunteers to do it and feel safe. We're gonna have that on October the 6th, is that correct, Barb?
10th.
10th, Saturday the 10th, from 9 to 12. So,
And again, we'll just, when they pull up, we'll take the stuff out of the car so they don't have to get out of their car.
stay in their car,
Yep.
we'll open it up,
We'll have
take
to
it,
emphasize that when they pull up out
Yep.
front.
we'll get some signs. But so that's October the 10th, 9 to 12, shredding event here at Town Hall.
Thank you, Dave.
Great.
Thanks, Steve.
Thank you.
And you seconded that to adjourn, Dave?
I will second that now.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.